A headache-free evening to you. It's Hangover Games here, and today we're gonna be talking about some IDEs, more precisely about Visual Studio 2022. Now, those of you who know me, you know that I'm a JetBrains bitch and I'm a happy bitch because, yeah, they're a good daddy. Um, Basically, I really like their software. I've been using them for 10 years and they are very performant. They, you know, improve the coding experience to an extent which is, yeah, that's marketing, right? And I'm not even paid yet. Um, all right. So the good thing about the new Visual Studio version is that it's extremely fast, and that's something that you can't really say about the previous versions. This is the first 64-bit version, and so it can utilize more memory in your computer. But you know, those are details you are going to find on that page. What you're not going to find is unrelated problems that you're gonna face. Uh, I intentionally I'm intentionally using the vanilla version, so you know what shortcomings it has before you start spending money on all kinds of plugins, and that's one of the reasons why I'm uh, using Rider, because there you don't have to buy anything else, just Rider, and you don't even have to buy it now for Unreal because it's free in the preview phase until March, I think, at least. And yeah, that's marketing again. So one of the problems you're going to face is that Intellisense is not going to find stuff for you at all. Like, you want to create a component in your code, like a U sphere component, and you see that it finds nothing relevant, even if you extend the scope. You don't see it anywhere. Also, if you try to forward declare it, yeah, it won't. Nothing pops up. Even if you do control space, you won't find anything that helps you out. So what you can do instead is to press Control T, or rather Control 1T, which will enable type search specifically, and then start typing U sphere compo, and it will find the U sphere component. It's basically the first result. So this is why I don't understand why, you know, IntelliSense autocomplete will just not find it at all. It hurts me so much I need to drink some whiskey. So once you have the header file that you want to include later on in your own files, you just copy the name, and since you want to keep your header file as lean and lightweight as possible, you're not gonna do an include here, because that means that basically the header file that you're including is copy pasted in here. So instead, you're just gonna tell the compiler that this is a class, and later on you will include it, and it's gonna be a pointer, and it's gonna be a test useFair component. That's done. But when you try to control click into this, or when you try to check the declaration, you won't find it. Why is that? Because you have to include it somewhere. Now, if you press some Mortal Kombat combinations, Control KO, this is where you should include this file. And you can, just Control D and copy the name here, because you hopefully know that this is also in the components folder. But for those who are more curious and want to figure it out on their own, what's where, you go back to this useFair component and you right click on this tab and copy full path. And you go back into your CPP file, and again you Control D it, just so that you don't have to type that much. You Control V, and you need to delete everything from before the components folder, and that is because this is an absolute path and it won't work on other machines which have a different file structure. So you also have to replace the backslash with the forward slash, and that's how you do it manually. Now if you go back and you press Alt F12, then now you can see the declaration, and this is actually a very useful feature because you can see the documentation of that file, and I'd say that the Unreal Engine is very well documented in the code, and it's very readable as well. So the second problem you're gonna face is macros. Well, Visual Studio is kind enough to help us with the macro names, at least. You see, you will find them. But first of all, you have to add a bracket or brackets. But then if you press Control Space and try one of the possible options, like try to find edit anywhere, you won't find it. Same situation as before. So the way to work around that is to go to the U property macro, well, its name, and press Alt F12. Then U property will be copied to your clipboard immediately, so you can press this Control F and press Enter, and you see valid keyword for U property macro, or keywords. And then it's not only the keywords that you can use, it's not only that here, but also the description, the documentation of those. So for example, you want to use category, and the way to use category is also described here. So you can just grab it, and you can copy paste that here and give it a name like test. You can also find edit anywhere. You can also just grab it and then you get a U property filled in, and you hopefully have a good understanding of what you've done based on the documentation and the code. Now the third big problem is, let's say you want to use classes, types, objects similar to the useFair component. So let's go into the header file, and you see it extends the public U-shape component. Now if you want to find other types that extend it, you're gonna have a hard time. So what I'm doing is pressing Control C, Control Shift F. You tick match case, match whole word, include miscellaneous files. Well, that's that's the default, and press Find All. And it's really easy to navigate in your results if you have such a small set of results. But yeah, let's go back to the uSphere component and search for uPrimitive component, which is definitely a bigger set. Again, Control Shift F, Control V, Find All. So you see, by doing this, you're already learning how the engine code is structured, and it's a very useful skill to have. I think the default grouping is path them file. I don't like this because the file results are very scattered, and I want them to be more, close together. So one way to do that is to do no grouping, and this is good if you roughly know what you're looking for and you just find it in this file list, which you can order by file name. But I prefer to use path only, because this way you know that, for example, you want to have, sticking with the example, you want to have a component. Now, a component is not a plugin. A component is most likely in the source, but it's not a developer item. So it's a runtime item, and then not an AI module item. It's in the engine classes components folder. So you see, the more you do this, the more you understand how the engine code is structured. So all these are components, just like the uSphere component. So those are the three major issues that I find fixing all the time. And this is the best way to do it, in my opinion, if you're using vanilla. Now, I think one of the biggest benefits of the new Visual Studio version, it's the one I have, is Release Candidate 3 version 17. I don't think it will change much tomorrow when it's released, but hopefully these things will work at some point in the future without you having to dig. Although I think you can consider digging a benefit, because this way you learn the architecture, the design, and the way the engine was coded, so you can fix bugs yourself after a while and contribute to the development of Unreal Engine. So let's look at some pricings. So obviously the individual version is free, but when you go for business version, and if you're an individual developer or a professional developer, I think you have to pay this $45 subscription. If you're a team of 5 whatsoever, then you can check the other subscriptions, but basically you gotta pay this. And many people use Visual Assist specifically because it helps you with Unreal development quite a bit. It's $130, and alternatively, you can also go with ReSharper from JetBrains. Well, the problem here is that it's not really, IDE, integrated development environment. It's not so integrated, right? I would expect this to be part of this. And what you get with Rider is exactly that. So if you pay that 13.90 euros, you have it all. And I believe it's much better, at least for me, significantly better than Visual Assist. And also JetBrains has this early access program, so you can try this stuff extensively for free. And that's my opinion on these tools. So enjoy, stay safe. I hope you learned something, and like, subscribe, and stuff like that. And enjoy your whiskey first and foremost.